Everybody, welcome to FM 2.0 Press Play Conversations. I am the Don. With me is the lovely Tina, CEO of Press Play. We'll get into Press Play in a minute. But Michael Weikath is here, guitarist from Helloween. First, I want to say hi, Michael. Thank you for taking time out of your life to be with us.
Hi there, you are Don and Tina.
I want to say, you've been with the band since its formation, 84.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, even though there was like an older whatever before that the Kai Hansen had done with the more or less same lineup. But then ever since it was called Helloween, I'm there, yeah.
So, right. So with Helloween, so did you think you'd still be writing and playing in a band when you formed the band? Did you think, oh, we'll be doing this so many years later?
Yeah, well, we're sure been hoping for that. I mean, when we started out, it was just like very important. I mean, we had rehearsals each and every day, except for Sundays when we would get drunk. And the other days we were rehearsing. We were like really keen on the record contract and good distribution and stuff, all the technical stuff. I mean, there was a band, like English-German band called Lucifer's Friend, and they had a bad distribution, and they were kind of like the German Queen. I mean, all you could expect from a band at that time, they were doing. But, they didn't get proper distribution, so you would never find the records anywhere, right? And so we were thinking, like, what do we got to do in order to not let the same thing happen to us, right? And so we're pretty tight about things, yeah. So when we're still here, I mean, that's just making us proud and everything. But we were kind of counting on some larger career, if possible. I mean, we were just guys from Hamburg playing guitar and doing heavy metal. But yeah, we were kind of fixated on that, yeah.
I just want to point out, Tina, and I'll come to you, what they've achieved, right? 10 million records sold, more than 20 gold and platinum albums. I mean,
not us.
Say again?
That's not us. That's him. Yeah, but at least a little bit. No?
Well, you've done a lot. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Tina, did you have anything you wanted to get into before I go into some more here?
Listening to you talk about how you guys really got started, it kind of makes me wonder, like, when did you know as a young person that you wanted to be a rock star?
Oh, I was 12.
12?
And it was like, I've been like a Beatles fan, like totally. She Loves You and the other stuff they were doing later. The White album I wouldn't get because it was so white and it looked so aristocratic. I thought I may not understand the music on it. So I kept that for last, going like, oh, whatever that may be, And the other albums after 66, I thought they went insane. These are not the freaking Beatles. I mean, there's some madmen going like, ah! And whatever. And I was like, yeah, and they got distorted guitars, and I loved that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I want to have a distorted guitar as well. I mean, sounding as expensive as what they had on the record. I was like, how do you do that sound?
Right.
You must have got that when you heard Helter Skelter.
So
exactly.
Was your mother impressed with your guitar playing at 12? Did you get a guitar?
Yeah, she would have supported me in finding instruments. They were giving me a plastic saxophone. They were giving me like a melodica, harmonica, whatever. They were giving me a plastic piano, but none of that would fit. I mean, I was looking for a guitar, obviously, something you can carry around your melodies with. And yeah, I got like a mediocre acoustic guitar for Christmas in '74. And then I was obliged to have lessons, right? Because she said, I mean, I know you're gonna leave that bit, somewhere in the corner, not caring about it. So you need to take lessons. So I went like once a week for a year. And then I said, I want to buy an electric guitar. I want to play with the pick. I don't want to do this classical stuff. I'm not cut out for acoustic guitar. I suck on acoustic guitar, and I play rock and roll guitar, So
that's awesome. Okay, back to you, Don. I'm more of like I like the little personal stories, like how you actually came to be a rock star, and like
I
like
can give you plenty of that.
because I'll tell you, you guys have a really cool, big, like I really love big 80s sound, and you guys really know how to do that. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. Also, Malice comes to mind. I mean, when we heard that Malice in the Beginning album for the first time, we were like, "Wow, we want to sound like this," right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Michael Weikath doing the mix of demos and
Oh,
other
Michael
recordings.
Wagner.
Yeah, he did that, no, on Malice. And actually, when you take a look at that track that's called Savior of the World on this very new record, that's very Malice inspired. I mean, sound wise and like vocal wise and everything. And so there we are. There we back full circle, right?
Michael really seemed to gravitate toward German, like Klaus from Scorpions. He worked with closely,
What about him? He's gravitating? Where?
and Dokken. When we had Don Dokken on, he told the story of
He's been doing the demos of the Scorps when he couldn't sing because he had like a vocal cord operation stuff. And the Dokken was singing on the Scorpions demos.
yes, yes. It's incredible how it all connects.
Yep.
Well, with you, when we talked about Helter Skelter there, but I wanted to talk about the new record because we could always go back into the past, but the new is what we're all about. And I will tell you, there is a track on here that blew me away the moment I heard it.
Which is?
And that'll be A Little Is a Little Too Much.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And
Yeah, sounds a lot like Whitesnake, I think. I mean, I always think like when he goes in the bridge, then I always go like, fool for your loving no more, or something.
You know what I thought when I heard it? That Ronnie James Dio was in the studio with you guys. That's
no. We only had a few shows in Spain.
The spirit of Ronnie was with you, is what it felt like. It just has that great and a little that Alice Cooper vibe.
Interesting interpretation and some of Whitesnake vibe with like the guitar sound and stuff. Very Whitesnake 87 reminiscent, I thought, when it comes to commercial tracks, right? Which is this one, and yeah, there you go. Interesting.
Yes. And that's the thing is, this leads into, what we're seeing now with AI and AI taking over and in a way, like it's starting to seep its way in here. But the real stuff like here, I bring up that track because it's melodic. It's got hooks. It's powerful. You could say commercial, but to me, when you talk the Beatles, right? This is what I get why we love the Beatles so much. It had all that melodic undertones in it. And that's why I think it's a phenomenal track. But now with AI coming in trying to do it, do you ever think there'll be a time where a machine can replace the human element of songwriting?
Maybe, probably. I don't know. It depends on the model of the underlying AI structure, even though I wouldn't guess that that's public for now yet. Even though I expect, in hidden corners of the DARPA or something along that way, that really thinks and knows what's great for melodies and people react or whatever. I mean, there's a thing that the Sascha just recently sent me. I can call that up quickly. I can tell you about it. It's called Drift Beyond the Flame. Don't know if you heard that. It's called.
Is that the one where it's an all AI band?
Yes, Drift Beyond the Flame by Velvet Sundown.
Yep,
right?
It's the all AI band. Yes,
and that's pretty close to what's good. Things like Brian Hyland, like Seal with a Kiss and stuff. Mm-hmm. You would think it's maybe the Hollies or somebody singing, right? And yeah, we're not far from that. I mean, would we mind as long as it's great? It's just that fans will not have to revere stars anymore. They can just push a button and say like, oh, this is stuff I love, and I don't have to hail anyone, and I don't have to aggrandize anyone. I can just listen to this for myself. There's no star involved. You know, I don't have to follow a star who says something, right?
But don't you think though that that's one of the part of the human experience is to have that human to look up to?
Yes, it is. And then if you want to revere the person or not, it's a different thing. I mean, Elvis sure has been revered by his fans, right?
Yes.
Because he deserved it. And because he had that spiritual aspect and power in his voice that would unite millions and that would create something in the room when he was present and singing, right? So there's a difference to it whether you take AI and you would say like sing some like Tom Jones or Tony Christie or Elvis Presley and delight us, right? Yeah, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. But maybe they will make you pay by whatever means, you know, Google Pay, Apple Pay, or whatever, and then the AI, you know, can get some, I don't know, bit of your money for being so great and being so cute and being so beautiful. You know, think of like an AI personality that's really cute, you know, and
I just
showing
think
some legs
music
or
is
something.
kind of from the universe. It's kind of God given, and I just, for me, the AI seems to obviously lack that. Of course, some would argue that AI was also created by the universe or God or whatever that is for you, but I don't know. I feel like, especially for musicians like yourself, I'm sure that there's a point in the evening where you sit down and something just comes in and you have no choice but then to get it out on your guitar or to write it down somehow. And I can't fathom that AI would ever take the place of that.
No, but it stands to reason if there may be a point, you know, where AI created music may make people cry. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know when that point is reached. Then you got a problem.
Good point.
I'm trying to create songs that make people cry, you know, of happiness, right? Not of boredom or sadness, but of happiness. And that's like a special quality to having to cry.
Dual vocals in a band. Was that something you've always loved throughout the years, is the 2-part vocalist in a song? Because to me, I'm a harmony guy.
Yep.
And when you can even introduce that into heavy metal, it's even more beautiful.
Yep,
So have you always been that way? Just loved that?
No, first we were struggling to have a proper singer, and the Kai Hansen would be doing his stuff that he did on the Walls of Jericho mini album stuff and Judas, and but we felt like something else would be needed, something more profound, something more to the hilt, right? Like the Michael Kiske and his abilities, and then it gets interesting when you mix like an experienced singer like the Darius, who's got his own career behind him, and the Michael Kiske. If you put them together, and so you have a duo or you have a trio of voices that match, and you know, we got the Dennis Ward, who's like a super talent in coming up with choir arrangements and second voices and harmony things, which you also hear on this very record. He's been doing like a lot more, like 5 times, 6 times more than on the album before, coming up with his vocal creations, right? And you also hear him on many recordings because he's been doing many of his vocal tracks for any track on this new record, right? And this is very important. You can beef up the value of one cantation of a song, you know, amazingly to bounds you wouldn't expect, like Journey or something. You know, that's what they basically did. I mean, they just optimized all the melodies with so many choir voices you can only think of that all work and that touch you inside, right? Wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Yes. That's nothing if you don't add all the choir voices. You know? And that's what we've done on this one.
Well, the first single, This Is Tokyo. You know, it's track 6, which is interesting when you look at an album. And I always know that bands put an album together for a reason. You know, it's like a book.
In order.
In order, right? You're very strategic about the order of songs. And that's why I always get mad when people want to shuffle an album when they first hear it. It's like you don't understand. You never go to chapter 5 of a book. You got to start at 1. When you get to 6, and this is Tokyo, why did you feel like, or why as a band you felt like this is the single that should go out or should be the one everyone's introduced to on the new record? It is phenomenal. It's energetic. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's like an appetizer, right? It's a typical Guitarist track. No one would be surprised listening to it, going like, "Oh yeah, that's typical Guitarist stuff. That's the way he does things." And it's a little simple and yeah, but none out of the ordinary. Whereas like Little Too Much is a lot more commercial and a lot more pop metal than anything. And the Tokyo is just an appetizer for the forthcoming album, where people say like, that's what it sounds like. Can't wait to hear the rest and stuff. Then you get a bit more clear with that, and then Universe is going to be like a lyric video that's going to come right after, which is more on the edgy side of metal. So that's going to be a bit more heavy, more metal laden than the simple 2 tracks as appetizers beforehand. To just stir up the attention a little bit.
Triggered something, because how many times back in the day, Tina, you bought an album based on the single, right? You heard it on the radio. You're like, I'm going to go buy the album. And then the rest of the album never sounded like that song.
Yeah, and there were those bands who really sucked with the rest of the album, and only the single was usable for anything. Yeah,
right.
And then they repeated the freaking idea of the first single, and it was like a clone copy. And then you went, blah.
Well, that's what I love what you said when Michael described it, and that's actually a great vision to say is it's an appetizer to give people a taste of what this album's going to sound like.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to what we dealt with growing up, where you're like, God damn it, this song sucks.
Yep.
It didn't really work out with me.
I have a ton of CDs that have one song that's good. It's horrible.
That's it. And even then, if it's really good, then it was worth buying the CD. Mm-hmm. The way I see things, I mean, there's so many hidden gems all around the music industry, that you've never heard of. And if it's just that one track I love, right, I say, okay, it was worth buying the CD. But we're talking different things here, like the commercialization of things during the 70s, how things were done, right? And then how you try to apply that old circle to what you're doing today with appetizers and stuff. So, because that's pretty similar. But for me, it was always like that. I mean, I learned from those stupid bands who did it that way, or maybe there were label managers behind it who said, okay, this is the single, we spare the other good tracks for the album after. Right? Mm-hmm. And then it was like, skip the rest of the record. But I learned not to do this mistake later on if I'm a musician, because I said, okay, you got to have like amazing stuff, no fillers if possible, no filler on the album, just straight stuff that's worth going for, right? And I mean, I think that's important in the quality of an album, not to have that old thinking. No?
Are you guys also aware or seeing where you're coming from your perspective, that old 80s sound that everybody used to love is starting to come back around? Like when you're out on tour and you're doing all that kind of stuff, are people wanting to hear like your old stuff too? Like it seems like the 80s sound is coming back is what I'm saying. So I'm wondering if you as an artist and a band, are you guys kind of getting that feedback as well?
I'm not so sure. It's more like the buildup of new generations finding access to that kind of music because of their parents or their grandparents. Mm-hmm. And I think that's basically why they go there. That's why you have huge rock festivals where people actually go by the hundreds of thousands. But why is that? It's because you don't have MTV in that form as it was anymore. And there's no forum, from what I know, on streaming stations where you can where you can satisfy your appetite for those things. No, I mean, it's like new hard rock, whatever, and then there's some Scandinavian bands who are very, very good, but you have to dig for them a little bit, right? Or at least you have to go to that station. If it's on Apple Music, I don't know the equivalent of Spotify because I don't use it. It's German Deutsche Bank behind it, you know, and they are just trying to bring people away from music rather than to the music, but whatever. And there's like these customized stations, right? And then you can listen to that stuff you're interested in, and then you're pretty much in an echo chamber, right? And the world around you is listening to rave or something, right? And so I'm not so sure if this type of music is going to be brought back to the public, because I think the makers who are doing the opposite, you know, are pretty fine with themselves. So I'm not so sure. And I don't want to doubt what you say, but it's like, you know, the generations who are already infected with the 80s type, 70s type of rock music, they enjoy it for themselves and they go there with their family. They travel to see a concert, right? Or if you want to go see 38 Special, you can, or, you know, you just have to go there.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely seeing a resurgence here in the US as far as, 80s, 70s rock. They're
Okay, and that's
selling
good.
out everywhere, which brings me to my next question. Are you guys ever coming to the States to tour? Like, are you going to do that in your next?
Yeah, next year. In fact, I'm just not
Really?
supposed, I'm not obliged to tell you any closer, more facts like about when exactly. But yeah, we're going to have some elevated club touring of the nicer clubs we haven't been to yet. But even the ones we had before were pretty good. So, I mean, I prefer that over like a full scale US tour in those concrete gray halls. No, so because like each and every club has its own atmosphere and possibly that their own particular fans who reside there, maybe. And so, yeah, that's always an honor to appear at those places. And we're gonna have hopefully like the audiovisual LED show in addition to it, which is going to do something. No, I mean you're almost no one if you don't have that anymore, it seems. But it's pretty good for, you know, supporting the music you're doing, visual impacts, right? Yeah.
I'm going to be looking forward to
Yes.
that. Do I get a
In fact,
backstage pass?
or if that's ever issued to somebody like you, I don't know.
That's
But we
incredible.
can arrange for a photo pass or for like an after show pass or something, or VIP.
Awesome.
Would you say, and then one of my final questions for you, obviously the new album, everybody needs to go get it in August, Giants and Monsters. We talked about a couple of tracks, but if you listen to the whole thing through, it has a flow all the way to Majestic, which is the perfect end chapter to the album. But I wanted to ask you, getting back to Tokyo and touring, do you find that Tokyo is the most rabid about metal music? If you look at any city or area in the world,
May well be, even though you have the Brazilians and you have gazillions of Brazilians, and you also got well the other towns in Japan, and you can also go to Indonesia and play some stadiums with that kind of music. But yeah, Tokyo, then you got Osaka, then you got the other towns. No, sorry for not mentioning, but it's just too many. I mean, it's not exactly Nagasaki, but the other towns, Fukuoka, whatever. You always go there, and you have a way to play, possibly if you're good enough, and they deem you trustworthy to come there and play them something. But for the next time round, it's going to be Osaka and Tokyo only. So you can compare it a little bit like Osaka is also a very big town, very colorful, very crazy. People run around with colored hair and stuff and attire. And Tokyo is a bit more gray, more like Frankfurt business district, right? But it's also like a very vivid town and like the biggest in the world for now. I mean, it always changes with other cities, but for now, I heard Tokyo is really the largest town with an inhabitants wise. And that's it. There you go. Then you go Tokyo, you go Osaka, and that will kind of conclude the tour we're gonna have there next year. Because we're playing larger venues. So
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing is I always got frustrated. You'd look out and I'd watch videos and it always seemed that people in Tokyo are just rabid music fans in general. Like they just understand.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are more so than any other people in the world, maybe. Because it's not their culture. They have their own traditional music, which is not bad. I mean, they got good stuff. And but they are open to the Western way of things, right? And sometimes they fall for the wrong stars, but you know, they come and do their shows, and then they're going to see what the people are like. And there's a big support for newcomers as well. So if there's like a happening new band or whatever, you can expect them to one time or the other appear in Japan somehow, do a show, do a live DVD or something. There you have it. I mean, they're rabid supporters of rock music, of music in general, be it jazz, rock, or pop, or anything. I mean, that's what they want, because they have to work so hard their normal lives, and they need some dream sphere, you know, for their fantasies too.
Yes. Fantastic. I know you got to go. And he did it.
That never happened to me.
What's that, Tina?
So it's been an honor spending time with you today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael. Be safe, and we'll see you in the States when you get here.
You too. All the best. Where are you located?
I'm in Tampa, Florida.
All right.
I'm in Indiana right now, but if you're in LA, I might meet you there. All
right. Okay, good. May God protect you from floods and stuff and everything. Yeah. We don't want that. We add enough of it.
Listen to a song that's not AI today. Yes.
All right. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michael.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.